Welcome to Us versus Movies. I'm your host, Dustin, joined today by my co-host, Kevin.
Hello, I am Kevin, the co-host.
I don't know what he's doing with that, everybody, but here we are. We're on the episode some of you have been waiting for, clamoring for. You already know it's Clueless. What year did this come out in? The beloved 1995 film that defined a 90s generation of, I don't know, some people. It defined some people's generation. Hour 37 runtime, PG-13. Written and directed by Amy Hecklerberg. God damn it. Hecklering.
Yikes.
There we go. Nailed it in 3. Starring, of course, Alicia. Don't ever talk to me about Clueless Silverstone. And,
really?
Oh, yeah, she fucking hates it. This movie destroyed her career, man. Because all anyone does is come over to her and be like, fucking Clueless, blah, 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 blah. I read a story from her last year. She was at some fashion show, and this reporter was all excited. The assistant came over and like, hey, I can see you're really excited about sitting next to her. Please don't bring up fucking Clueless. She will bail instantly. So she's also super weird. After this movie, she stopped shaving her armpits.
What?
And she takes baths with her children who are of a tween age.
Wait, what? Like topless, or like does she wear like a bikini and like a splashing around with them? I guess that's okay. Wait, how old are they?
They're in their tweens. They're not quite a teen, but they're old enough not to be taking baths with their goddamn mother.
So they got
also notoriously breastfed, I think, until her child was like 5.
What?
I have a weird amount of baggage with Alicia Silverstone fucking knowledge. So for some weird reason.
Man.
Yeah. There's more, probably, but that's all I have at the top of my head right now. Stacey Dash, who you might know from selling her soul to Fox News, and Brittany Murphy, R.I.P.
Who's just a soul.
I don't remember how she died, but I'm just going to assume Hollywood.
No, dude, it was like something like she was in the bathtub or she was bathing or something, and then she had like some medicine, and like the medicine fucked her up or something.
Oh,
really?
So
no, I don't know if it was
like that Kevin Bacon movie, right?
What?
Kevin Bacon movie where he watched his wife drown and die, and he got trapped in that house in the Welsh countryside.
I don't know if I saw that.
Oh, I think there's an episode where he did.
Yeah, the coroner said it appears to be natural. The autopsy was performed the day she died. It said death was deferred. They have it under. It's just elementary reading. She went into a cardiac arrest. So because remember, like it was her husband or whatever at the time, and everyone thought it was quote unquote foul play, and he was like, "I loved her. Why does it always got to be foul play with you assholes?"
Again, Kevin Bacon movie. I'm pretty sure that's why.
See, people didn't want to hear the first time we talked about Kevin Bacon. They don't want to hear about this time.
They do. The immortal Paul Rudd, who
chalked it up to pneumonia.
Okay. No one thought it was going to have a career after this movie, and then he surprised you, Hollywood. Donald Faison, who did Scrubs. I mean, it just goes on and on. There's more people. I mean, I'm going to point out a few. Dan Hedaya, because he was also in the Rookie of the Year. See that episode? And he's just fantastic in anything he does. And then Wallace Shawn, who everyone will know from The Princess Bride and Toy Story and shit, but he's great as well. So those are the hot. And then Miss Hecklering. There we go. Got it. What has she done, Kevin? She's a fucking...
Jeez, what hasn't she done is basically...
Yeah, seriously.
That you saw and probably enjoyed.
I mean, she directed Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which is what basically got her...
Remember when Phoebe Cates came out of the pool? Whoa!
Johnny Dangerously.
Look who's talking.
National Lampoon's European Vacation.
Well, that was one of the good ones, too.
Fast Times, a TV show. Tell me you saw an episode. You probably didn't, because why the fuck they do a TV show? Oh, I don't know, because they did Clueless TV show, and it was also horrible.
Wow.
And then she also wrote one episode of The Muppets entitled Clueless, because they were like, let's just get The woman who did
let's just get it over with. Let's just
and she was just like, fucking whatever, money is money. And she also did Loser, in which she tried to capture that clueless 90s magic of an entire era of kids being captured, but it failed miserably because it had Jason Masturbation Face Biggs in it.
Boom, never forget.
Never forget. It was a horrible movie. Horrible.
Yeah. You know what I think about Clueless and the reason that succeeded and air quotes Loser didn't is the cast and the chemistry and the basically the portrayal of the characters.
Mm-hmm. Fair. As he dies on air.
Sorry, I think
okay.
I think that's what does it.
So did you want to start with your hot take, or do you want to save it for the end?
I'll just save it for the end when everything gets fixed.
All right. Well, we open on a very MTV 90s fucking pastel type font thing. With,
the opening, I was like, is this shot on like high 8? Is this like, I didn't understand the opening at all. I was like, wow, is this like a beer commercial? And then like her narration kicks in, Cher, Silverstone's narration, and
we're just gonna call her Cher for the sake of this podcast.
And she starts speaking. I was like, oh, and then she totally mocks the intro, and I've never seen this movie, so I was like, oh, is this? My whole quest in this movie is to see what kind of style comedy it was bringing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't know, as like, is this like kind of like a satire? Is everyone just real snarky? Is it like a little raunchy, or like what is it? What kind of lulls am I in for?
Well, and first and foremost, it is a rom-com, not a just straight up comedy.
Yeah.
Love is the theme. No matter what this movie pretends it is, it's love from the beginning. It tells you from the beginning, just in a backwards way of this is a love story, you know. I'll be honest, I don't remember how it starts. I just watched this last night, but I'm blanking on that after the narration. I mean, I guess she just kind of walks through her life and everything, and
it's just Cher narrating like kind of, I don't want to say the rules of the world, but kind of like she's kind of just laying down the laws of the land, and like this is what to expect, and this is who I kind of am, and but she does it.
She goes and picks up Dion. She's laying out all that.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I got my name from a famous singer, and so does she. That's why we're best friends, and she's pretty good at fashion. And they kind of poke fun at each other and just kind of have some banter, some character banter.
Yeah.
It's really going to be kind of hard because, like, it's a comedy, right? I think it leans more to a comedy at times.
Oh,
and it has romantic overtones to me, where I see that romance is the driving force for some of the actions, but I don't believe it's like 100% A to B to C
for sure.
For Cher. And it's her movie, it's her vehicle, it's her story, and everyone, and she moves pieces around as she goes, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, even with like, but the strange part to me, I guess it's really not about the story, just kind of, I guess my opinion, is the Dion character. She really doesn't have any like kind of growth or anything, and she's really not pinnacle to Cher. She's not like, she's really, I don't even know if she's supportive. She's just kind of doing her thing with her boyfriend, and they have ups and downs, and they just kind of bicker at each other because he calls her woman, and she's like, don't address me that way. And Dion's real proud, and she doesn't want to like kowtow to anyone or anything, but she doesn't really have any growth as a character. She doesn't really do anything.
No, for sure. I mean, who knows what the original plans for her were, but yeah, it's weird. It's almost like she's just kind of like this, I guess, like an extra perspective at times, I want to say. I don't know. But
I think she's there so Cher doesn't have to self-narrate the whole movie.
Yeah. Pretty much. So that's what I mean. That's what I meant.
Because there's a part towards the end where Cher just kind of just goes into this big, epiphany, and she's by herself, and it worked. It worked for me, and I really thought they were going to be wishy-washy and fishy with her narration. I was going to be like, ugh, that's a very lazy way to tell a story. But She does a great job of kind of just getting it all out there, and she's a character that's like crazy selfish in a way that she makes it fun. She's more likable than it's kind of weird because that character and that archetype of a character, if you would have almost put her in any other story or as a supporting character, she'd be kind of annoying, right? She'd be kind of like disgusting and bratty. You're
talking about Cher, right?
Yeah, about Cher. Because she wouldn't, but Alicia Silverstone does. She's so charming the way she.
Yeah.
I guess kind of just like she illuminates all that shit. She emanates that, and like you see it, and she's kind of more lovable than annoying, even though she's a little bit bratty. But it's not like she's so disgustingly bratty. We're just like, God, I hate you. Fall down some stairs. You fucking suck.
Yeah, it doesn't come across as her being like. Here's a weird, I guess. Like if you picture Chevy Chase doing almost the same type of character, you'd be like, that guy's a fucking piece of shit, you know.
Because it would be
like,
so much
and that's how it
behind
come on. Exactly, but hers is like so sincerely innocent that it's very enjoyable. Like, yeah, I've seen this movie, I don't know, dozens of times. Like, you know, it comes on. It's one of those movies you're like, it's on. I'm not gonna change the channel. I've seen it. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, like,
and every time it's really good. Like this time I had to like laser focus on it, except for the fucking opening apparently. But yeah, it's just. I don't know, she does a really good job. Like, and I think even Brittany Murphy like did a really good. Like, you see why they all kind of kept getting jobs after this, you know?
No, yeah. Here's the thing about Brittany Murphy. Like, to me, like I was so infatuated with Cher and her performance and how she was going to handle each scenario. I wanted to see how she reacted because the way she carried herself, where I was like, man, you should just be kind of a real like bitchy, snotty, like cunty character, and you're not. You're kind of like charming and adorable with the way you perceive everything, because it's not malicious, but it could be. But the way you're doing it, it's not. I'm so like, that's so rare to actually, and that's your protagonist. She's not like a villain, because like I guess her only opposition is the Amber girl that really
my favorite fucking character.
She comes off like a doofy version of it, where she's just like a copycat of Cher, but she can't really nail it.
Yeah, where she's given no screen time to grow, develop, or even try.
No, exactly. She's just kind of there, but
they never write her off. She's always just there. This is why I think it's a good high school movie, because there are just those people that you know and are there, and we don't need to give them all screen time, but we don't exclude them either. Like the Asian girl whose name I don't even know, because I don't even think they fucking say it one time. But she's never excluded. She's there. They do say. I don't remember them.
No, they mention it like for a minute when she does like the
It's the car ride thing of like, no, you ride with her and she rides with me thing.
There's the car ride thing, and I think they have an interaction when she does like the collection for the people at the end. I don't want to say raffle. I keep saying raffle, but like the drive, to collect items. They're but it's almost like if we need a D-level character to say something, that chick appears and kind of says that fucking exposition. You know what I mean? She's like, hey, the party's at this. Oh, we got to go to the valley. Oh, you know what I mean? So it's just like she's a good at just picking it up, throwing away little pop lines. Like she's like pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and I agree, but like, I think with I know we're just talking about the cast, right? Because they're just so like, it's very important.
Yeah, well, it's what made the movie. It really is. Like, everyone thinks back of this, they don't go, oh, it was, this scene. Like, you love these characters. That's why they were like, fucking make a TV show. And they were like, we got like half of them to come back. And they were like, ooh, did you get the main one? No, you didn't get the main ones? Ooh. Yeah, like, poor man's Cher.
No one wants the replacement, because it's not that. Literally, what they do in the scenarios that take place are stupid and bullshit. I didn't care. I don't care about the location. It happens down the street from me. I give no fucks. It's the people and how they interact with that world and the way they introduce their world to you. And I was like, I want to see you guys play in your world, because you're humorous while you're in it. You know what I mean? And that's. It's all to the credit of their performances and how they kind of got along. Like the Amber girl, they could have gave her some throwaway lines of just like she's constantly trying to one-up Cher or something. But like you said, she just kind of pops up. They say something snarky and they move on. they some of it
just,
was
I can't even think of her
humorous.
lines. Of just like, I mean, she coined the classic whatever with the W, just as ifs and stuff like that. It's just Amber's a real great
Well, yeah,
character.
because Amber's always trying to like jock for position, especially their first thing is debating. Because Cher's big thing is she can talk her way out of anything. She can get her way just by using her words, and that's like her big takeaway. She's great. She knows she's pretty. She knows she's fabulous in fashion, but her dad's a lawyer and he's this high price attorney and stuff, and like that's kind of like an akin to him because her mom passed away, right? So
Yeah.
she just has no other family figure. So she has that tight family, and she has a stepbrother played by this Rudd fella. I don't know if he's gonna make it in Hollywood, but this guy looks
Rudd.
this guy looks the same, and it creeped me out the whole time. I was like,
immortal Paul Rudd, dude.
I was like, Cher, stay away from him. He's like 45 right now.
The fucked up thing, he's really old in this movie. He's the oldest one at this time point, and you're just like, but he looks the fucking same now, and they're all like,
I didn't like it. It creeped me out, and I was like,
"Oh, it's crazy."
Is this where the stepbrother wanting to fuck the stepsister porno shit came from? Because like,
so I was gonna talk about that, where I was just like, I think this gave birth to that. It also gave birth to older white men saying like too much, even though they don't really say it in the movie, but they say it in the trailer a lot. But yeah, no, I totally think so. It was literally like someone, like the director was just like, this is
as Dustin and I say like 15 million more times.
Well, yeah, no, exactly, because we're older white men. We really latched onto it. But I'm pretty sure the director, she was just like, I just want to make this a little more socially acceptable. Got some plans of my own, a little more socially acceptable.
Possibly at the time, it was kind of pushing things and a popular.
I don't think anyone even noticed. They were just like, yeah, whatever.
I mean, I noticed instantly because it creeped me out. I was like, what is this 50-year-old man doing in the kitchen with this like 18-year-old, 16?
What sandwich is he making? That's disgusting.
Is he eating all those hot Cheetos? Because that's going to hurt his tummy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that kind of popped out. But anyway, like, he's there. I have really no feelings towards him. So I was kind of like, this could have been played by anyone. I don't care.
Yeah, it's not a shining role for him by any means.
Right. It's just like a heartbeat.
Yeah, the men are really not the stars of this movie. Like,
no,
by any means.
Not at all. But like, but I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought. I was just kind of going to go through the characters really fast. Like the Murray, Dion, Stacey Dash's boyfriend. He's kind of doofy to me, but he does it well enough where he's non-threatening, and he's just kind of he's kind of a goofy clown guy. He's almost there for the laughs. You're kind of waiting for him to do something funny, but the style of comedy just didn't really. I don't know. He was just kind of doofy. He didn't really do anything for me. I was just kind of like, oh, you're that guy, like. Yeah, I did. Whatever.
I like his character. Even watching it again, I was just like, I still like his character. So.
But like, it's
and then Travis. You like Travis?
Travis was fine. Like I knew people like Travis in real life, and it was just kind of like, He
went on to never play that type of character ever again and be the stuffy white guy and everything.
Yeah, that's fine. Good for it. I mean, but those characters were all archetypes, right? So they were all like status. Like he represents this group, he represents this group, and then they were fine. They all played their part. It was all well enough. Like I didn't dislike anyone. I wasn't like groaning when they came on, but everyone's just kind of the sub characters, especially the guys, very pedestrian. They're fine. It was basically the girls. The girls were basically, of course, the stars, and Brittany Murphy and Silverstone are like the best, right? Their dichotomy, how they come up. I didn't even recognize Brittany Murphy. I didn't know who the fuck that was.
Well, this is her first movie, so
like. I just didn't recognize her. Period. I was like,
you were like, "What's a Brittany Murphy?" And then you're over here reading her autopsy report to us. Like,
no, yeah, like I looked and I was
dived into all of Brittany Murphy's like life story after.
Dude, she looked Latino. I was like, oh, I didn't know who it was. Like, she didn't look like anything I'd ever seen her in. I mean, I'm not a huge Brittany Murphy fan. I mean, King of the Hill or whatever, but I was just kind of like, that's not Luann, and then it was. And then the gym teacher, I recognized her from something. Was she on Matt TV? Was that Julie Brown or something? She was on something.
I I don't remember her damn.
The lesbian teacher, gym teacher.
Yeah, I mean, I think the lesbian part's loosely implied. So
no, dude, she for sure was. That the Cher says it. Like they. Oh, she was in Earth Girls Are Easy. I remember that.
What's her name?
It's Julie Brown.
Oh, Julie Brown.
Yeah, I remember her from my childhood. I remember seeing her on just like random like campy stuff. I'd be like, oh, that's that one girl. So I was like, oh, she looks familiar.
I know her from this and from the prostitute. Hey, psycho, do you recycle? I mean, that's like probably my new favorite band, the Prostitute.
I knew her for a little bit when I was into Prostitutes. That's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the movie.
Oh, it's a real thing.
Yeah, prostitutes. They have been around for a while.
No, the
oldest profession.
Oh, called Hey Psycho, Do You Recycle? It's a video short. Anyway, do you want to jump into the movie now?
Yeah, you just
go to the debate. Cher and Amber debating. Cher spouts some nonsense. The whole class just pops because it's Cher. It's Cher.
And plus, no matter what she says, everyone kind of gets what she's saying, even though she says the most arbitrary kind of almost what are you talking about way. I was like, oh. And the music in this movie, it's a lot of music beds. It's very 90s.
Oh,
Some of the songs, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Now you know why they're popular, because of this movie.
No, some of the songs, I'm not a big fan of popular music at this time, but some of it just kind of caught stuff that I was listening to at the time. And I was like, oh. Like the Kids in America, like I love that song. I don't think the Muffs cover of that song, or version of that song, I should say, is very good. Because I've heard like a trillion bands cover it a little bit better. So, but that got my attention. So I was like, okay, I'm into
But they were covering it before others.
Hey, no harm, no foul. It got my attention. So I was like, oh, I'm interested now. Like that calmed me down musically. Because I was like, I didn't really even think about the onslaught of 1995 music I would be getting.
I took some notes. You hear 3 songs before the 3-minute 30 mark in this movie. There are a total of 45 songs used throughout the movie, and that includes the clip of Buns of Steel for some reason. I don't know why that was included.
But it's so funny. She's like, I don't feel very tight. She's like, you're not got to do it more than once a day. She's like, oh. Like, Brittany Murphy plays such a great sad character in the beginning, where she's just kind of like, she's real ew, but not like, she's not bad, but she's ew to them, and they do a very good job of like wanting to save her when they're introduced to her.
Yeah. But so we got the debate going on. Amber shits on everything Cher said, and then they sit back down. We're kind of just we're given a breadcrumb of Christian showing up eventually. And then it's report card time. This is the big driving force for the first act of the movie. And Cher's got a C. Was it a C plus or C minus in debate or something? She's got a C of some kind.
Well, she's talked her way out of every grade. She's gotten them higher because she was talking to the gym teacher, and she was like, "It's a man." She's like, "It always is a man. You don't need him, baby. They don't need him in life. Look, I don't mess with them." And then she's like, she gets all pouty, and then she gets a higher grade in PE or whatever.
Yeah, well, she starts doing her tour, her report card tour.
Yeah,
of getting her grades, and then she goes through and she gets stonewalled by the debate teacher, and I don't even know what to call the other one. The hippie? I don't know what class she's teaching. So it didn't seem like a real class or one that was really important.
Oh, man. I don't remember what she did either.
I really don't remember. I don't even know if it's super important. Maybe social. We'll just call it social studies. I think they were just calling bullshit classes like that social studies in the 90s anyways. So, and so then she interacts with her father. And this is eventually where we introduce Josh, played by the immortal Paul Rudd. And he's like, "Where's your report card?" She's like, "I'm still working on it." And I love Dan Hedaya in this because he's just like, okay, he just like accepts that. He is legit my favorite character in the whole movie, and possibly my role model for parenting. I don't know, maybe.
He had one of the biggest LOLs that I had watching the movie.
Well, which one?
He was responsible for one of them.
Just go ahead and tell us. Everyone else
Horowitz. Everyone's like, we see this asshole, just say the goddamn scene.
Yeah.
It's when Cher and Ty are over, like for the first time, and Ty's sitting there. She's like, "Hi, Daddy." She's like, "This is my friend Ty. Get out of my seat."
Yeah, and that's what I say. He's my fucking role model. Because like, that's the weird thing. Watching this movie, I'm just like, oh man, maybe a little too much of some of these characters rubbed off on me. Especially that one, like, because I yelled at it. My family all the time. Get out of my chair. I'm just like,
so that's like the best part about that scene, right? Like, it made me laugh because the way he did it and the way she continued to sell it, where she's really wide-eyed and just excited to be into this new world of,
oh, sorry about that, Daddy. And then Brittany was just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, no one, like, Cher doesn't flinch because that's just how her dad speaks. He's crazy. And he's just real 100% aggressive. Even when he's talking to her, she's like, drink your juice. He's like, get that away from me. Like, he doesn't even.
Yeah, he does not relent. She just doesn't even bat an eye. She's just like, yeah, whatever, dude, just do it.
He has maybe like 3 levels in the whole movie. Kind of like a 3, an 8, and then like a 20. Like, that's it. And he he bats away the juice and stuff like. He has scenes like that. And then the best part, though, is Brittany Murphy's kind of just like fish out of water, big, bright-eyed, bushy tail, ready to tackle this new life under Cher's tutelage of being just really cool and fashionable and hip. And then she's constantly just kind of looking over to the dad like she's just waiting for him to blow up again. And I thought that was super funny. Like, they stayed with the joke. They stayed aware. And that goes back to me, like, what kind of comedy is this going to be?
Yeah.
Because there's another scene later on where they go to a party in the valley and they're doing like the Rollin' with the Homies, the Coolio song. And Cher's trying to get Ty hooked up with Elton.
Yeah.
And
you're jumping way far ahead, man.
I'm just talking about the comedy scenes. I'm talking about like the overall. Well, go ahead then. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I did want to touch on one thing because you mentioned that everyone stays with that on the dad. In the beginning, Cher mentions that the maid is afraid of him. And they continue that all the way through. Every time she has to deliver him food, she just like puts it down and runs the fuck away.
Yeah,
that was great.
No, that's what I mean. Like, their comedy is pretty consistent, and everyone stays within their characters. Like, no one tries to outdo each other in a scene, and everyone kind of respects everyone else's kind of joke, I would say, I guess.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the movie. So Cher has come up with the plan to make the teachers fall in love, because if they're in love, they'll give better grades and they'll have sticks not up their asses.
Yeah, that's the theory. Is like if she can find Mr. Wendell a love, he'd maybe like wouldn't be so grumpy because he's just like he's so miserable, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna get Miss Toby to fall in love, and he's like, oh, they're gonna play matchmaker, and that's what Cher likes to do. She loves her projects.
Yeah. And so then they begin the task, and this is probably, I think, the most like under the radar funny line when he's announcing the tardies to the class, and the stoner Travis, he does his little speech of having 27 tardies and everything. And not that part, but then later when Cher's told she has 2 and she objects and she's like, I was surfing the crimson wave. I had to haul ass to the ladies' room.
He was just like,
He was like, I'm going to assume that's some lady issues, and I will just mark you down for one. And then she uses that as her like segue into, Mrs. Toby was right about you. She said you're one of the smart ones. And like just
you're
boom,
intelligent.
plants that little seed. Yeah, you're intelligent.
Yeah, and he kind of like stares off and kind of thinks about it for a second. But the joke is way funnier when she says it, because Dustin said it like a dude, and Cher uses her charm and her like almost pouty charm and gets her way.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother trying to copy it because I know I cannot. It's not in my skill set. So that's why I was just like, I'm just going to say the line and move on. But then Kevin was just like, no. Fucking America's Got Talent. I have judged you to have none. Boom.
You serve some.
Or whatever they do.
You've boogie board some Crimson Waves before.
Which then makes me think of the Taco Cat song, Surfing the Crimson Wave, which is a funny song and great. So, And yeah, and then so we just see them her and Dion slowly bring them together. They leave flowers for the other teacher. They set them up to talk to each other by giving him coffee, and he has a great line where he's just like, she's like, "Do you drink coffee?" He's just like, "Not from this cafeteria." And I was just like,
Justin's like, "I hate cafeteria coffee." Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone's like fucking defending cafeteria coffee. So
yeah, the girls they go the extra mile, right? So they leave some poetry, they leave a rose, they put it in her fucking mailbox at her job. She gets it. She's like, "Oh wow!" She's kind of taken back by it, and they're like, "Yeah, it's working." And then like she goes off to do something. They fix her hair, her glasses, her overall crash course on her look, and she's just they just kind of slowly build in the coffee. They just doesn't go, "Here's some coffee, talk to the girl." He kind of like, "Oh, you should share this."
No, they just set it up and like let happenstance like take over and like hope for the best and shit. So
yeah, it slowly starts working itself out.
And I think that's why it works. And I think so many things tried to capture that same thing after this and didn't really work because they were like, okay, we're gonna like create this extravagant like scenario where they're gonna run across each other and blah blah. And it was just like, that's just too stupid. This was just like coffee and a bench and like, come on, like that was it. You know, they worked in the same place. They were destined to eventually run into each other. You know, it's not that big of a school.
Well, yeah, but there's so many movies that came after this kind of that just try to take this style of movie, the whole
like Loser. Would you say like Loser? Loser probably definitely
from like Hot to Not. There's so many little things they tried to like cherry pick out of this and just turn into
She's all that
full blown movies, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like this.
Like literally, she's all that teacher, and that's all that story had to be is that long. So
yeah, but they didn't really. Yeah, like they just did an overblown version of it. So
yeah. And so then Cher's feeling pretty good about herself, and then Josh is over. A great dinner scene. They're all like, she's trying to use her phone, and he's just like, "No phones at dinner. We're gonna have a nice family dinner for once." And then his phone rings, and they're all on the fucking phone and shit. I mean, that happens later. I don't know, but still, I don't know. Like we get some more Josh interaction. He basically calls her selfish. I think at this point, that's when the dad says she can't drive without a licensed adult. Oh
no, dude, you're all over. She's got tickets, so she's like, she's like, "I got a ticket." She's like, "I can get more than one." He's like, "Yeah, you got multiple ones," and he's like, "You know what?"
Well, she's like, "I don't remember when I got the first notice," and he's like, "The ticket is the first notice."
Yeah. There's still, that's the thing about it. Like, even though Cher's oblivious to almost real world things that aren't air quotes shopping, makeup, boys, whatever. Every retort she says, like I said, it has her charm on it. So you're not upset at that character for saying it because you totally believe that character would say that. Yeah. And I can beat this at home 1,000 times. I can't express how no movies or comedies do this shit anymore. They don't do it. They have these unlikable fucking characters that say shit. And you're like, "Fuck you. Why'd you say that? I hate you even more." You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It just doesn't work half the time.
Yeah, no, I agree. So and he has another great line where he was like, "And Dion doesn't count. 2 permits does not make a license, so you cannot just have her in the car."
He's that's a Cher thought. So he's outthinking Cher before she even speaks.
Yeah. And so she goes to Paul Rudd and she's like, "Hey, loser, let's go take me driving." And this is where he calls her, selfish and basically says she's a brat. Kind of says what she really actually is, but in the less charming way of like he sees through her shit, and she's like, "I just totally helped 2 teachers find love," and he's like, "Yeah, and I bet it was for your benefit,
right?
More so than theirs, you know."
It's like, stop right there, right? So I'm watching the movie and I'm thinking like, wow, what's her journey, right? I don't know, what is she trying to do? And I was like, well, we've already wrapped this thing up about her in the first 20 minutes. What the fuck are we doing for the rest of this movie? Because
finding love.
This character clearly likes her, and he likes her so much he gets frustrated with her faults. So he barks at her and he's like, "You're this and you're that, and no one ever tells you that because you're all these great things to some people and no one can stand up to you because you talk your way at everything. You get your way constantly." Yeah. And I'm a little bit older. I've seen the world. I'm into news and real boring shit. And Cher's just like, ugh.
I'm in college.
They're kind of, I don't want to say complete opposites, but they're just totally different mindsets. which are opposites. And
which in hindsight is exactly right.
Because I mean, like, they're like, that's why I just kind of like, I don't know if it would have been better if someone else was in that role, but I don't know. He was serviceable.
But you can't bring your knowledge of Paul Rudd into
exactly.
Like when people experience this, they were just like, this was Paul Rudd. They were just like, okay,
call him Josh, man, because you call him Paul Rudd, I just think of shitty superhero movies.
Paul Rudd. Yeah, fine, Josh. This is like Josh's first movie. Okay,
he basically calls her out on her shit, and she kind of doesn't like it, but she's listening.
Yeah, she does. And then she goes back to Dion, and she's done. She's down at the dumps. She's kind of like feeling down on herself, and and that's Enter Ty, played by Brittany Murphy, who and there's a great joke about that Amber said her plastic surgeon doesn't want any balls flying at her face, and Dion says, well, there goes your social life. Still a classic. And then enters Ty.
Really quick, so this is all basically my perspective of watching this movie for the first time. Mm-hmm. So the school is trying to constantly be a character, right? This is like one of the weaker parts of the movie. I thought it had potential, but they didn't really go home with it. So we're supposed to be in this Beverly Hills bougie ass school. So you constantly see people with nose jobs, like the bracers on there, like about all these medical things that everyone got to just be pretty and, very, very, very Beverly Hills, right? I thought that was a little weak. I thought there should have been like a little bit more to it, because it was that typical 90s high school where it's like a college where everyone just hangs out and it's a real lush, sprawling fucking like grounds.
Well, for some reason, I know that this was filmed at 3 different schools, possibly because one of them is very close in proximity to me.
Probably interiors, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was their courtyard, actually, because I can look in and see it and go, yep, that's the Clueless courtyard I saw. It's like, whatever. People don't need to know where I live. But yeah.
They're going to find you now. Look, there's the school. And they just turn around.
I do think...
You're like, hello.
One of those random, but he's right here on the street. I walk my dog by here. They're just like, oh, fuck.
Can I get a picture?
But yeah, I mean, I do think there was like a slight missed opportunity of the school, but I think it's because they didn't have a lockdown location and they were going for certain looks at certain scenes.
No. Misunderstand. Not the aesthetic of the school, just the people in the world that I'm in. Because I knew because they always reference how like you have to be
the student group. Body as a character is what
correct. Like that's kind of like their world, right? It's status. And you really just kind of saw a small group of people jockeying for that. Right. Granted, it didn't need to be lavish where everyone's pulling up in Lamborghinis and stuff. Like, I thought her fucking Jeep was sick, that all white and blacked out. And I was like, oh, that's
especially for the 90s. I mean, that car looked good for right now.
No, it's timeless. That's what I'm saying. It's a timeless.
It's a fucking Jeep thing, Kevin.
It's a timeless, clean. It was a clean looking Jeep. And like, I thought there could have been a little bit more with the student body, like, because if you're not really paying attention, you're like, why does everyone have like whatever? But no harm, no foul.
It's like background shit though. But I mean, we'll get there because so they call Ty over, and there's some drug jokes about herbal refreshment and coke, and then they're walking with her, and they actually go through and they explain like this is the stoners, this is the film geeks and shit, and this is the basically the rich clique is what they are a part of. And then you get the great scene where Murray comes over and calls her woman, and she's like, I don't like you calling me woman. And then he actually spouts some like intelligent reasoning behind it, and then just like walks away, and it's just like, what the fuck? And then
well, that's another thing, because they say everyone in this school is really smart. It's a really good school.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so basically everything you see is fabricated. So like Murray's clearly intelligent, but he's acting like a wannabe, Coolio 90s, whatever portrayal of a gangbanger style, because that's just what's cool and popular, right? So he's not really that guy. It's his, cultural influence, right? Of like, that's what's popular in the 90s, right? So he's going to just do that, as they do it again with like the skater type of kids. She's like, they just rolled out of bed and they wear all these baggy clothes, like we're supposed to be attracted to that. When you start finding
swoon over them.
Yeah, exactly. Like
And
when
I
you're
was just
trying
like,
to.
so fucking accurate. But
No, like Cher has like super great lines but she's introducing more of her character instead of like the guy. So she's trying to say that's not for me, even though Murray kind of represents that too. And she's above all of that. She's more classic. She's, upper echelon,
yeah.
because she doesn't date high school boys. That was the beginning. She starts introducing high school where she's walking with a Dion in the very beginning.
Yeah, and so they've taken Ty under their wing, and they're like, "Ooh, how about a makeover?" So they invite her over, and they strip away her very obviously influenced stoner skater clothes.
Yeah, wear guy clothes that don't
I'm
fit.
sorry, I skipped ahead because at some point after their introduction, they're going to lunch, and then she goes to get them all sodas, and she runs into Travis. And there's sparks because she can draw Marvin the Martian really well, and he wants to like take all the noise off of his skate deck and just put Marvin the Martian on there. And she, I thought it was funny because I hadn't, so much of this movie is like background noise to me at this point. So like repaying attention to it, where she has like fucking 5 different drawings of Marvin the Martian in her notebooks. I was just like, Jesus Christ, how many times are you drawing this asshole? But
well, yeah, she sees him. She's like, oh, that's really easy to do, and he's really easy to draw, and he's like, what? Because yeah, he's all about skating. That's like literally his only lifeline, and they just have that moment, and they're kind of like very akin to each other. She's really grungy 90s, and he's got the same thing, baggy pants. Like it's just the whole look, and they're very like.
Yeah, they could easily confuse whose pants are whose.
Right.
They could. So anyway, so they have their meet cute moment, and then she's back with them, and then that's when they're just like, ooh, how about a makeover? And we do our makeover montage, which leads out into the Buns of Steel workout that Kevin mentioned, and then Paul Rudd's just like, she's like, ha ha ha. To Josh, Cher's like, ha ha ha, Josh, look, I'm doing something out of the kindness of my own heart to, just to kind of get at him. And he's just like, okay, sure. And then Brittany Murphy sings the Mentos commercial fantastically. And you're just like, Jesus Christ, why didn't you,
it's a great jingle. It's easy to sing.
Well, I mean, yeah, but also I was just like, why didn't you pursue music at all? Or did you? I don't know. I didn't follow your career like Kevin did. So
I read a wiki page.
Yeah, did it include her music by chance?
I can go look if you'd like. I mean,
it had a whole autopsy report, which is creepy enough. But
dude, what do you mean creepy enough? Every time a celebrity dies, it's something everyone goes ape shit.
Yeah, I know.
Why are you coming at me, bro?
I didn't say you updated the page or anything. Anyway, so then now Ty's stock has gone up at the school, and she is taken a liking to Elton. So now Cher's goal is to get her and Elton together. And Elton is essentially the male version of Cher, but like shittier. I do love that every time he raises his hand, it's not to answer the question, but to either ask for to go to the bathroom or to express that he's left his Cranberry CD out in the quad and needs to go retrieve it, which I think is probably his best line. I was just like, what the fuck?
Like he was very doofy to me, and I was like,
well, he's entitled to the max, or he's like, this is I'm just here because I have to be here, and that's it. That doesn't apply to me in my life because of who my parents are.
So my only like little qualm with him is like I wish they would have played up the breakup angle, as that's kind of why he acts like that. So that's why he's not dealing with, because Cher's big goal is like, hey, he's single, let me get Ty with him, and secretly Elton likes Cher because Cher's upper echelon, and they try to have a moment and stuff, and it doesn't work out. But
that's why I say that's what he's like, very much kind of the male version of her, because they come from similar backgrounds and everything. Like almost like their parents would not be surprised if they were like, oh, we are dating. They'd be like, oh yes, this is to be expected. We run in the same social circles.
Yeah, that's his reasoning to be with her. But she's just like, dude, social circles are not, I'm a way above you. Like and you're gross, because he was kind of a dork.
But I was like, Cher, you could totally pull better.
Well, in the 90s, he wasn't a dork. No,
dude,
like looking back in
she can pull better than that dude, all right?
For sure.
Just because you're down with Elton, that don't mean Cher has to be, okay?
Listen, I'm not down with Elton in the least bit.
You know what? And maybe Silverstone should have thought, don't be weird, because now everyone just likes Cher because Cher was great, and you suck now as a real person. Just be Cher. Just be that character that this lady wrote.
Do you know how shitty and tiring that's got to be, though?
Yeah, but now you're like...
up and quoting Clueless, but like, quote Batman and Robin to her. Okay?
I got you. Then who's got line? You?
That's Superman.
No, that's when they're falling from the building, and then Batgirl rappels down and grabs Robin, Chris O'Donnell, and then she's like, I got you. And he's like, who's got you?
They don't know. That's the Superman line.
Yeah, man.
They steal it in Batman and Robin as well, because I don't remember her rappelling down and saving Chris O'Donnell.
Dude, I saw
who she should have let him fall. Don't talk to me. I saw it in my birthday in the fucking theater, and it was the worst, one of the worst birthdays I've ever had.
It should have been, because it was one of the worst movies ever to exist.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was young, so it didn't like really scar me for life.
I would have ran away from home if that was me.
I mean, I asked to go see it. I didn't know.
Oh, I've been like a life on the streets for me.
I mean, at that point, it was just like, or wait another 8 years for another superhero movie. Like, what was I going to do? I was going to let Joel Schumacher kill the franchise for everyone. So,
see you in phone booth.
Fuck that movie, too. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That movie sucked a dick. Anyway, so Cher begins, we do a photo shoot of the gang, the group, and Elton asks for a copy of a picture of Ty, and so they think that's good going. And then the dinner scene where Dion.
It's not good going, Dustin, because he just really wants. He's like, those are great photos. I just want a picture, because he's given Cher a compliment as she's a great photographer, and he's just using it to get closer to her. Any chump can see that. This Elton guy's a scumbag. I don't like him.
But Cher does not see that, so
because Cher's so focused on getting her way, and what her way is getting him with Ty.
Yes, I mean that is a thing. Cher's just trying to get her way.
Because Cher's so she's so focused because she loves projects, so that's why I took it as like and plus, as I said a million times, he's out of his fucking weight class chasing down Cher, so she doesn't even see him as anything. Then they prove that later in the car.
Yes. All right. Well, let's get there. So they end up. They're going to go to the party in the valley, Sun Valley, to be exact. Sun Valley in the valley, and they park like no one's allowed to in anywhere in the valley or LA, because what the fuck was that, Kevin? They just pull in.
I knew you were going to say something.
It bothered me the first
time
I ever saw the movie.
Where he just has to overanalyze. Should they just parked in the lawn, bro?
They couldn't. There was bricks and stairs. Okay, that was impossible. But still, they're parked facing the wrong direction of traffic, and there was another car just parked however the fuck it wanted. It bothered me immensely. It always does. Every time I see that scene, I just hate it. I just absolutely hate it. And the fact that they come out and there's completely different cars parked there later. But whatever.
Hey man, this is the cars. It was a huge party.
This is the rolling with a homie, where if you didn't pick up on all the cues like Kevin already did, that Elton is not into Ty and only into Cher, it will be painfully obvious to everyone but Cher and Ty by the end of this scene.
So, here's the thing. This is what I took from this scene. Thank you for getting us to the house, Dustin.
You're welcome.
In the party in the Valley of the Sun.
Party in the Valley of the Sun.
So they get in there, and Cher is typical Cher. She's so beeline focused on getting her way. She gets her way all the time. Why would she not get her way this time? Elton is rolling with homies, and that's Coolio for anyone that wants to follow along on your Spotify playlist. And horrible song, but they're loving it. And
you might hear it later, Kevin.
She dances, and she says like a clod, like somebody's clodhopper flies off, and it hits her in the head. Oh, yeah. So this is the part where I'm kind of confused. Like, I'm like, wow, what kind of comedy am I going to get in this rom-com that's a little bit more comedy than romantic, if you ask me? And I was like, she just flails like she got shot with a shotgun.
Yeah, like,
flies there. And I laugh and I chuckle and I'm like, this is funny. No one sells it. And so they kind of go over, they go, oh my God, are you okay, Ty? But they're not laughing at her. They treat it really seriously, right?
Yeah.
and I love it. And they get her up and they take her to the table, and Cher's like, oh my gosh, and she clears off the counter or whatever, and they lay Ty on there. She's hit in the head, and she goes to get her up, and then Ty like sits up, and then she hits her head on the lamp or the light, the ceiling light. Yeah. And I start laughing again, and I'm thinking, holy shit,
supposed to laugh. It's funny.
Should that light have shattered? And I would have laughed even harder. Like I chuckled. I was like, oh.
That would have been too much.
So that's the thing. Okay, so stop me right there, but don't. So I was like, if her forehead shatters this, I'm pissing my pants. But we're teetering into a line of like, we're getting kind of wacky comedy. And they knock on that door a little bit, but no one answers. So that was when my very so Brittany Murphy's character is doing the comedy. She's doing the physical comedy. Cher does the witty dialogue. There's a line where Cher walks. She's like, oh my God, I feel like such a heifer today. I laughed my ass off because I use that word. My brother uses that word. Heifer. It's funny. It's baby cow. And then she describes why she's a heifer. She eats like 5 things and like one M&M and like
five peanut M&Ms, like half a granola bar or some other dumb shit.
Yeah, it's a very Cher line to do and say after knowing the character for 40 minutes, right? But there's another scene later on where she meets the Christian guy or whatever, and she falls off the bed. I mean, I think it's in the trailer or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, is Cher doing the comedy? Physical comedy, because I don't think she should. I was kind of that. I didn't laugh at that. That bothered.
You missed the connection.
No, I got it.
Because she's in love.
No,
when you're
I
in
got
love. You do the physical comedy. That's the rule.
I know. That's what I don't like. I didn't like that because I've already got 50 minutes plus with Cher be in this style where she's already funny, and she's up here, and I wanted her, I guess, digression of being like love's fucking me up. It should have been a Cher thing where she kind of does something weird or like just eats like a pint of chocolate and like ice cream. You know what I mean? I wanted something where it was her out of character because she's already has this like structure. And if she just broke her own structure, I would have been fine with it. But if she's doing physical comedy, that kind of took me out for a second. I was like, I don't like that. I want Cher's version of it, not Brittany's Murphy's, not a rom-com version, because she's already earned her stripes. Let's see her do it her way. And that was the only part I was just like, you had some
falling off the bed's not horrible. And I mean, it's not getting a shoe to the head. It's just like she fell off her own bed. You know?
I know. I like don't get me wrong. It's humorous.
I'm gonna get you wrong.
No, you totally are, because she deserves a better way. Period. Because she's such a strong character. She doesn't need to do any other lovesick, blah, blah. Oh, no, I've lost my mind. And you know what I mean? Like, I didn't like that. But that's kind of one of my small points that I don't like about it. But, what can you do? But she's, like I said, she's gold on everything else. So,
well, we're not getting that back. So,
What are you talking about?
We're not going to get that scene back. There's no do-over. But anyway, so Travis comes with ice in his bare hand for some reason. He knocks something over. Ruins Cher's
an idiot. That's why, dude. He's an idiot.
I know, for some reason. I let everyone else figure out the reason, but
because he's dumb as shit.
Yeah. He's trying to help.
I'd like to thank the people at McDonald's for making me late with those Egg McMuffins. I couldn't have done it without them. Thank you, everyone. Like, this dude's, he's putting over one of the grossest foods on the planet.
So I liked his in the city transport for taking a chance on a on a young kid.
Yeah, that's humorous. That's why I was like, all right, he's dumb funny. He gets to have that. So I was okay with it.
Yeah. Too bad he never wanted to repeat that in his career either. But so lo and behold, and then they do suck and blow, and for those that for some reason have not watched this movie and do not know what suck and blow is.
No, they get to figure it out. If you don't know what that is, then
anyway, so Elton sucks, and
he steals a kiss from Cher.
Yeah, he steals a kiss from Cher, and then the party's over because Cher's dad calls and is like, "Get your ass home."
My party was over because the thing that Dustin probably subtly missed because he's so used to it is they're in the valley and there's a bunch of fucking helicopters. I was like, that's about right. Anywhere in the valley, there's always the ghetto bird.
Yeah.
They're leaving.
I didn't miss it, but
I thought there was going to be like a police breaking up the
I probably
party.
couldn't tell if that was the movie or above my house, because it's sometimes it's questionable. Sometimes you got to pause the movie to be like, is that which one is it? Okay, it's outside. All right.
Are you going to do a no-knock raid at my crib, or have I just got to fucking, okay, I'm good.
On their flight path or something. So anyway, yeah, and he's like, if you're in the valley, or he's like, anywhere in Los Angeles takes 15 minutes, but she's not in Los Angeles, she's in the valley, which is still Los Angeles. It's very confusing. It's more of a local.
That's a local thing. That's a local joke, everyone. Anywhere in Los Angeles, you can get there in 20 minutes. If it's dead ass, no traffic.
He says 15 because it's the 90s, okay?
If we added another 5.
We got the scale for inflation. I'd say it's more like 25 now. So, but
fuck that. Now I get everywhere I want to be in 10.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true because we're all dying, but
goods and bads, you know what I mean?
But so then she's got to get a ride home. She tries to get Ty to go with Elton. Elton keeps switching it and creating
to ride with Cher. So they're just
basically just defying her logic over and over, and so they end
musical chairs, fucking transport. Transporter shows up. Jason Statham's like, get in.
And then so Cher's doing her usual. She's overhyping Ty. And Elton's completely ignoring her. And then
Ty
pulls over and he basically tries to put the moves on Cher. She's like, what the fuck? What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you thinking? And he keeps going, even though she says no. And then she's just like, fuck you.
It got a little rapey there. I didn't like it.
It did.
I knew it was a 90s movie and kind of that was more free flowing and it wasn't a big thing. But I was getting uncomfortable. I was like, don't touch my Cher like that. What are you doing?
I honestly believe you're supposed to show how kind of like serious, like it has to be that serious so that she no longer feels comfortable to be in the car with him, to put her in the other situation that comes right after that. But yeah, I think you're supposed to, because like after that, like Elton's like basically dead to the
He's
movie.
out of the movie.
Yeah. So
give him 2 more little joke lines, but
yeah,
he's pretty much done. So
yeah, and so she gets out of the car because he's just like, why would I ever go with Ty? That's below my class. And she's just like, you are a snobby piece of shit, basically. And then she gets out, and they're in front of Circus Liquor.
Welcome to the Valley, everyone.
Welcome to the Valley. It's like apparently our number 1 biggest landmark. And then Cher's instantly robbed at gunpoint.
Here's the thing. Like this part, Circus Liquor, you guys just Google it. You'll be like, oh, I've seen that in a trillion movies, videos ever, TV.
Yeah. They love it. It's very Instagram worthy.
It's
very grammable. Anyway.
She's there and she instantly a pistol to her head. I started to chuckle and I was like, yeah, that's about right. And
I mean, not for that exact corner. I mean, depending on what time of night, I guess, but
that's about right. She's get a gun at a liquor store, 2 in the morning, white woman dressed in fucking Gucci ass shit. And I knew she was gold when he was like, all right, give me your phone, your wallet, all this stuff. And he was like, now lie on the floor. And that's what bothered her. She was like, you know what I'm fucking wearing, dude? And he was like, what is that? Am I supposed to know what that? She's a designer. And then the face she makes when she lays on the floor and she's like, count to 100. She's like, I guess 1.
He's like, she gets like 7, I think, at the most.
She's so
and he's already
deflated.
gone.
She's so sad. It was just, she just gets up and then she walks to the fucking payphone. She's like, I need a ride. She has to call fucking Ant-Man. And
just call the immortal Josh, who is doing some heavy petting.
Heavy petting. He's grooming it. He's fucking.
Who also strangely looks and dresses a lot like him in certain scenes that they show them, where I was just like, Jesus Christ, couples.
It's that weird
couple dressing like each other's shit in the 90s.
That weird grunge 90s kind of girl look where they're kind of like, not shaving their pits and they have opinions and stuff about global warming and they all kind of look the same.
I'm talking more about like Ty and Travis as well. They were dressing the same too, and then we got like Josh and college girl.
Ty, she was dressed that way for a reason, right? To show her evolving.
I mean, that troll shirt was pretty sick. When I saw that, I was like, shit, they should sell that again. That's pretty fucking rad. I'd wear that shit.
Like, bro, we're out of business.
What are you talking about? Trolls are doing great. They just rebranded, redesigned, but still, they could resell that shirt.
I'm talking about the shirt company.
Oh,
we lost that contract years ago.
I'm pretty sure someone else could reprint it. Come on, internet, don't let me down.
Go to Redbubble. They steal everyone's fucking creative.
I found a better set that steals everything else.
Jesus.
You want Spider-Man or Japanese Spider-Man? They got it. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so she has to call Josh. Josh is like, "You owe me," and this is my favorite part of this whole conversation, Kevin. He's like, "Where are you?" She's like, "Sun Valley," and he's like, "Oh, you owe me," and hangs up, and just somehow knows exactly where she is with no GPS or any way of contacting her back at all. So yeah,
dude, because you just said it yourself. Everyone knows there's only one reason to go is the Circus Liquors.
It's not like she said, fucking, I'm at Circus Liquor in the fucking valley, and he was like, hold on.
Anytime someone's in Sun Valley,
going to go out of business. I'm immortal, and I know it's going to be a fat burger because I'm actually living all my timelines at once, and that's why I don't age. That's Paul Rudd's last movie. Just to reveal that he's immortal.
Anytime you say Sun Valley, it's Circus Liquor. They go hand in hand. So he knew.
Circus Liquor is in North Hollywood, though. It's not even in Sun Valley. No one even goes to Sun Valley because that's like the edge of Burbank.
For this movie, it was.
That's like trashy Burbank. That's what people refer to as. I mean, by people, I mean probably me. But anyway, so he picks her up, and then Cher has a great moment where she outclasses her Josh's knowledgeable college girlfriend by quoting Mel Gibson movie. This is back when Mel Gibson was acceptable to quote. Although I do appreciate there is a Marky Mark reference, a Pauly Shore reference, and a Mel Gibson reference. And I think that's also why people like, because it kind of includes itself in our world, I want to say. In a non-annoying way. They are very subtle. Like I don't think anyone's just like, holy shit, Pauly Shore's being brought up in this movie. You know,
yeah, dude, you're gonna get that.
They just dunk on fucking Pauly Shore and just move on. They're just like, fucking move on. We dunked him, we're done.
Yeah, but the movie's self-aware. It knows what it's doing, especially with the beginning when she just kind of outlines the fucking opening. She's like, that probably looked like a fucking commercial for Old Navy or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh, this isn't a Noxzema commercial, is what she said.
Yeah. You're just like, wow.
Was shot like a Noxzema commercial. Now that I think about it, yeah.
Great skin. I never needed it. So, but
he says, hiding his fucking bucket of Noxzema under his desk.
They don't even make it anymore. I got a desk of it.
They still make Noxzema. I'm sure they do.
No, dude. Yeah, if you're at the dollar store. Expired in 1998.
Is made, okay? 98. No one's sitting there going, this is expired in 1998. I'm putting it on my face.
Yeah, they are. Because that shit, look it up right now. You're probably still rocking Stridex pads, you pimply face turd.
What is Stridex pads, you pimply turd, he says.
He said that to me, everyone.
They have a website, you asshole. They just moved on to making skin cleaning products. Okay?
Everyone has a website,
they're not like
bro.
Fucking rub. Okay, like an updated one, Dick. Okay, not like a fucking Angel Fire fucking website or some shit. You know? Okay, they got like an Instagram. They got an Instagram and a Facebook icon. Okay, I think they're hip with their demo.
He's eating 3D Doritos with his Airwalks and Jankos. It does like there's nothing wrong with this.
Nothing wrong. They have anti-blemish pads, so suck a dick, okay? Clear block pores and treat current breakouts with Noxzema Ultimate Clear Anti-Blemish Pads. Look at that. They just added more words to it. That's all they did. Just like a lot more. Ooh, Patsy from Fair Lawn, New Jersey said, every soap I used would make my skin dry and cracked. When I discovered Noxzema, it was a blessing for my face. I'm going to write to them.
Why?
I'm going to be like, can you just release a commercial in the vein of a 90s Clueless reference, please?
And then Silverstone's going to be like, I fucking don't talk to me about that.
Yeah, but Stacey Dash will do it. And that's kind of...
Nah, she'll bring her Republican nonsense.
She'll still do it. It's not like she's going to hold up like a fucking stupid hat or whatever and be like, oh, look at me. I fucking sold my soul for money. So, anyway, so...
They still have Stridex pads too, huh?
Yes, I told you.
Well, they're not working because people are still getting acne, so fucking ain't working.
It's because that was that other one, that Proactive, that came out, and everyone was like, "We don't need this shit. We're not gonna rub a fucking diaper on our face anymore." Okay,
they got vending machines that have Proactive in it.
That's fucking crazy.
That's why Stridex is going for $4, and it's just an alcohol pad you rub on your face till your skin cracks and turns red.
People didn't know that at the time.
Bullshit.
That's all we had in the 90s, Kevin.
You know what I will say? For it being the 90s, I like a lot of Cher's outfits. Yeah. They're very, I don't want to say timeless because I know everyone loves the yellow, like,
plaid.
Yeah, that she does. That's very iconic for that movie. But she has, like, there's good looks they put her in. I mean, some of them are just like blatantly, holy shit, that's the 90s. Yeah. But she can kind of, I mean, some of the headgear and stuff, like.
Yeah. I mean, that's where it kind of gets like, straight up 90s. But I think some of that is because of the success of the movie, you know? That some of those looks probably are more endearing because of the movie. But anyway, so she gets home from her near-death experience, and this is when Christian is introduced at school the next day, because she's... Oh, no, they have to break it to Ty. That's right, I'm sorry. They break it to Ty that Elton's not into her, and they blow off their last two classes and go eat and talk about sex and boys and crooked wieners.
Dustin doesn't like them when they're crooked.
I do not. I want it straight and narrow. All right, fellas.
I want it like a pencil.
I want it like a pencil, thin and delicate. Okay. All right. Delicate.
I want it to make me blush.
I want it to be soft and like slinky like. Okay. Yeah, I just want it to be real awkward.
I want it to be like a half melted icy pop.
Yeah, I want to be confused by what I see, but not crooked. Fucking get that shit out of here.
Yeah, and that troll shirt she wore was scary. I don't know.
Thank you for coming around on that. Like, that was kind of the joke, but fine.
I had to think about it. I was like, that scared the hell out of me. On it,
like 5 minutes later. So they just have a very candid discussion about boys and sex.
No, dude, tell me what this line was, because you find out that Cher is a virgin, but they go, Cher, really? And then the reason she says she's a virgin made me super fucking laugh.
Oh, she said, you've seen how picky I am about my shoes, and those just go on my feet.
Yeah, dude. And I was like, fucking flawless. Yeah. That was the most shared line ever. When she said that, I was like, this bitch is gold. That was fucking perfect.
Like Kevin's just sitting there buying stock and share at them. Buy more. She's golden.
I talked to somebody else about this movie, and I want to say she doesn't cheat. She stays Cher pretty much the whole time. And even when she learns her air quote lesson, she's still that character. It's almost, here's a better version of her. She doesn't just hit this wall where she acts completely different.
Yeah, it's very her character journey is very believable, and that's definitely something we don't get in movies anymore. Like, oh, I'm a piece of shit for the first third, and then like I just like turn on a fucking dime, or and like the last 10 minutes they're just like, I'm no longer a piece of shit. I've learned out my lesson, everything, you know.
And that's why she's so good. And I think that's probably why people love this movie to this day, and it has anniversaries and people quote it and dress like it and cosplay, all that shit. Because
wait till you read the graphic novels. That'll depress you.
That's
because of how horrible it is.
Because you know what I think
Ty
it is?
has a gay aunt, and the whole story is about Ty accepting she has a gay aunt.
So here's the thing,
yeah. Anyway, so yeah, no crooked wieners. We and through this we learn that Ty is the most sexually experienced. Dion is not quite a virgin.
She satisfies her man.
Yeah, she satisfies her man. Take that as you will. And Cher is hymenly challenged, as they say, as Dion says.
That's the PC way to say it.
That's the PC way that Dion says it, which is also great. Like, it's a great little, quick, candid conversation about it. I appreciated that. So, and then we introduce Christian, who shows up at school the next day, and Cher uses her charms, drops her pencil. He comes over.
You're all over the place, bro.
Oh, I'm not. I'm going
Cher
right.
finally sees something she's interested in. She don't fall in love. Cher, this is a high school boy. She don't fuck with that shit.
Yes.
Continue.
She drops her pencil to get his attention. He brings it over. He says, nice stems. And then she says, and then I do what any girl would do. I send myself flowers. I send myself candy to basically build up his jealousy and her desirability.
Yeah. She bets on Cher.
Yes. But Cher, even though Cher's pretty much great at all things, we already know that Cher is very inexperienced at love. And so where she was completely blindsided by Elton being in love with her and not Ty when she had done all this hard work to make them a couple, she is unaware that Christian is completely, totally not interested in her. And I think the first moment you see that is when he leans over to read the card and kind of looks at her and goes, mm-hmm, and then just kind of like carries on. But anyway, so they start developing, I guess, a relationship of sorts.
It's a relationship because another funny line comes out. They start hanging, and then Cher's just kind of infatuated, right? And it's pretty much, it's how he carries himself that she likes.
Yeah, because he has like a golden age era of Hollywood flair to him. Is the best way to describe it.
And they address that. The dad addresses it, and it makes me laugh because I thought that's the exact same fucking thing. And the thing about Cher is like, Cher is really kind of, she carries herself in a very proper way. She's not dumb. She can be a little bit ditzy in some of her responses, but the way she comes off, it's almost like there's such calculated responses. If she makes people think that she's one way, she's going to get her way more than not. Yeah. Because they're going to think that she's not a threat or she may not know something, but she's hyper intelligent. But yeah, I will give you she's overwhelmed, so her gaydar does not work for this particular character.
Yeah, which when you've seen the movie and you start to look back, like I'm sure you probably picked it apart because
the first time. No, like, oh yeah, I'm watching very closely. But the first time I was like, oh, this guy's gonna I thought they were gonna kind of be like a little chess game where like, here's the male version of Cher. How are they gonna butt heads, or are they gonna fall in love with each other? Like I said, I don't know. But when he's like, oh, I think they hang out, they go out once, and then he comes off too cool for school when he goes to pick her up, right?
Are you talking about for the party? Yeah, I think that's what they do for the part. They go to the party first. I'm trying to remember because when does the mall scene? I think the mall scene happens in between.
That's the last thing they do, right?
Okay, yeah.
So the first thing they do is she goes to pick him up, right. And they drive around his little yellow car, and she goes to meet the dad, and he's like, "You drink?" And he was like, "Oh, well, if you got it, I don't try to." He's like, "I'm not asking. I'm to give you a drink. I'm asking if you're going to drink with my dog."
He's like, "I don't give minors alcohol, nor especially not when they're going to drive my teenage daughter."
Yeah, the dad just starts. I was like, "Dude, if you're not this dad and you have a daughter, you're not a fucking dad. You just got to roast every dude in the fucking tri-state area that tries to talk to your daughter."
He's amazing. He's amazing. And this is where Josh shows more of his jealousy. More okay. Fine.
I'll give you Josh's jealousy right now, but then the dad's like, "I'm not done. My scene is not done," and he's just like. He's like, fucking Sammy Davis Jr. dies, and this motherfucker, like, there's an opening or something in the Rat Pack. I was like, yes.
He was like, what do you think? Just because Sammy Davis Jr. died, there's an opening in the Rat Pack?
Yeah, I was like, that's totally what I thought too, Dad. You're all right with me.
I mean, this whole scene's pretty great because he rings the doorbell and then Cher's at the top of the stairs. She's like, "Daddy," and he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Can you get the door?" And he's just like, "You're already ready. Get the door." And she's like, "No, I can't. I gotta let him wait.
Make him wait."
Yeah, and then she's just like, without even missing it, she's like, "Josh," and he's just like, he just kind of looks like, I don't want to do it either, but I'm a sucker. So he goes, and
because he loves her, and that's why he gets so frustrated with her.
So and then he's like, "Are you gonna let her go out like that?" And Dad's not done with this whole fucking scene. He's just like, "Cher, what the fuck are you wearing?" He's like, "Here, what the hell is that?" She's like, "It's a dress." He's just like,
"Put something over it."
Yeah, and then, I don't know. I forget, she gets
I was
something
going
really
to,
like
Daddy.
something smaller and puts it on. And it's just like,
No, it worked. That was the proper look. She did layers. She was doing her layers well.
So, and then they take off in his fucking super expensive classic yellow car with all original
everything. What the frick, dude?
I was like, that fucking car is probably to this day worth $250,000, and he's a high school kid is driving. I don't fucking buy that for one goddamn minute.
It's rich.
Not that fucking rich. I mean, come on. But yeah, so and then Josh is like, oh, I better go to the party, and then cue the party, Kevin. Who's playing the party?
Dude, this is what I got super excited because I was like, oh, it's the fucking Mighty Mighty Bus Tones.
It is.
They're making him play Impression That I Get, but
it's the song that made him.
I disagree, but that is the song that put him on the pop culture map.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Didn't they have I could have swore that they hated this movie because of all this shit.
I think so. Like I didn't. I was a fan of these guys for a very, very long time before this CD even came out. And this one made them radio friendly, and they were just kind of real whatever. They enjoyed the song. I always read it, but they wasn't like when it blew up, they were kind of like, oh, okay.
We are not playing this song for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, I've seen them play it live a couple of times, but they're not really big on it, in my opinion. I mean, it's a catchy song. It's really melodic and stuff, but they have like
it's a great song.
They have like a cavalcade of better songs, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. But when I hear this, if it pops on, I'm not like, oh, I'm changing the station.
Oh, no.
It's like when I hear Walking in the Spiderweb, like I did in the beginning of this movie, I fucking got cold chills. I wanted to fucking punch my brother-in-law.
Oh wow, shit! Specific beatings.
Because he watched the music video like every day for like a month. What the fuck are you doing? Are you masturbating to Gwen Stefani in your mind? In your mind's eye? Are you just on an astral plane jerking into fucking Gwen Stefani? I think you are, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's on the astral plane just giving it a no doubt tug-a-rooski.
He's like, what the fuck? Anyway, I think my wife's too close. She probably just heard that. She's gonna kill me.
He's like, who's jerking it a no doubt?
Who's that? You know damn well who is. So we're at the party scene. She's dancing with Christian, missing.
Was it a party? It looked like a fucking formal social or something. I was like, where are they?
It's a very awkward, weird party, for sure. There's like a bar and a stage for the band that's kind of to the side of the bar.
But the stage can't nowhere near hold all the members, and they're all like.
It's because it was probably just like something they set up. I don't know. It's probably the most awkward scene because it's just there to serve
sections like
all purposes. And that's to establish that Cher does not know that Christian is gay, and that Ty has moved on from Elton, and it is Josh that she has set her eyes on, and that Cher has noticed some things, but maybe not. So,
yeah, Cher's kind of breaking out of her own world. This is all for the audience to kind of see where our characters are kind of going off in which directions. Yeah. Josh is kind of entertaining Ty a little bit, but you don't know.
It's very out of like pity and such,
That's his story. He's sticking to it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then so Cher is having Christian over for a date. No one else is at the house. She's getting ready for the date. I love the part where she's like, "You should always have something baking," and then
she just throws like a lump of cookie dough.
Yeah, she just like. With no intention, because the intention is that it will burn, and so he's like, "Is something burning?"
I don't think it was, dude. I think the intention is Cher is like being Cher
of cookie dough in. Come on,
no, dude, that's a Cher moment. Cher doesn't fuck with stuff like that, dude. There's other domestic things they mentioned to her, and she just kind of says the most random, abstruse thing ever, and I'm just like, "Oh, that is not Cher's forte."
When Josh is like, "Do you want to work on parking?" She's like, "Why? Everywhere you go has valet."
Yeah, those are Cher as not basic, dude. She ain't fucking with anything basic. She's I told you, dude, she's upper echelon. She don't mess with that shit. There's people for that, is her answer.
And then Christian says, "Oh, honey, you tried to bake." And then
she just kind of looks like, fuck, I did.
Yeah. And so it all goes to her plan, I feel like.
And here's the thing, right? So ideally Cher is doing things out of her comfort zone because she is air quote love struck and she's focusing on that and she's kind of losing her way when she's just
trying to lose her V is what she's trying to lose.
She is because she's never been in this way and you're kind of like, well, this character's already played high school. She don't do that. And you're kind of like, is it because she's not good at it or is she really just don't mess with high school boys? You know what I mean?
She's never had a reason to. So
exactly. So you're kind of seeing this like character struggle.
Yeah. And so then the bed scene where she falls off the bed happens. But my favorite part happens right before that, in which she's rubbing her feet on him. And he kind of looks at her like, what the fuck are you rubbing your feet on me for? And she's like, oh, sorry, my feet are cold. And then just it goes to show, doesn't matter what team you bat for, guys are going to be guys. He just fucking puts a pillow on her foot and like pats it. He's like, there you go. Fucking don't do that to me.
Failed opportunity. He should have started rubbing her feet and then he could put like a toe in his mouth or something.
Yeah. Why would he? He's like, hey, a foot's a foot. I'm into it. Okay.
There's a special category for us on the adult websites.
I don't
call
think
feeties.
I don't think you're gross. Jesus Christ. Did not need
here's
to
the
know
thing,
that
man.
knowledge today.
I knew as he closed all his windows. Like close. So he's going to cbofeeties.com. Did he mean Wheaties? I looked up Wheaties.
I looked up Wheaties. Ew, that's a thing too. Gross.
Delicious. Oh, not anymore. When he said anything with Spartacus in it, I just started laughing because I was just like, this guy is homosexual. Because that's a... Isn't that did they have that joke at Airplane? He's like,
I don't know.
You like movies with gladiators?
Well, I mean, so yeah, and then so Cher's really beat up. He leaves early after she's like, get some wine and stuff. Yeah.
He's like, wine makes people sexy and want to do sexy things. That's okay, right? And she's like, I'm really sleepy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sleepy. And she's like, well, do you want some coffee? He's like, oh, no, I got the ulcer. And she's like, we had all those cappuccinos before. And he's like, those are mostly foam. And I was like, oh, that's fair. And I steal that ulcer line from this, I guess, probably.
Here's the thing, man. I thought that was really awkward in this scene because I know what Cher wants as a character. And I was like, no, Cher, no. You got to stay pure and innocent. I don't want you touched.
Jesus, you're the dad.
No, it's like I don't want this character. She's such in a great spot. I don't want her doing anything else because where she's at, I like it. You know what I mean? It's humorous. I like it. I like her. She likes herself. But now she's trying to grow and change and just tune into these feelings. And she's longing. She's so busy making love for everyone else. She needs to have love for herself and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, no. You're the last good thing in cinema. This is 1995. You're the last.
Little did I know, it was all fucking downhill from here. Was it really even uphill to this point? But it was definitely downhill from here.
You're the last romantic / comedy protagonist that won't be awful. Don't do. Oh God, you're gonna throw it all away for some dude. He's just Ant-Man. This shit sucks. I didn't even see it.
Either of them. Yeah. So the next day, she's driving with Dion and Murray, and she's like, "I can't believe I almost went all the way." And he's like, "With who?" And she's like, "With Christian." And he's like, "Haha, no, you didn't." And that's when Cher finds out that he is gay, and
he calls him a cake boy, and I was like, dude, I was like, can you say that on this? This is 1995.
I mean, it was 1995, so yes, obviously they could. I mean, of things he could have said, there was a lot worse, you know.
Of course, but then he called them both bitches, and I was like, bro, they can call each other bitches. You can't call them bitches. This is so 90s. I'm very uncomfortable. It's too rapey. They're calling everyone bitches.
I mean,
somebody's a cake boy.
She was yours, but whatever, you know.
What's that?
Yeah, I think you used that word too towards them at one point, but that's fine, whatever.
Mine was a term of endearment.
All right, anyways. So then we get Dion goes on the highway, and just a great classic LA scene of people honking and flipping her off.
Well, you want to talk about the old people that go by with double birds?
Yeah, the old lady goes by with double birds, a motorcycle gang out of nowhere, a semi-truck that is out for murder.
Yeah, it was like the semi-truck from T2, basically, chasing them down.
I mean, I thought it was more of, Stallone from, Over the Top. He was just like, fucking move!
I'd say Maximum Overdrive is trying to kill him.
All right, well.
Great movie.
Either way, it was a pretty accurate reflection, and
I don't think it was, dude. I've never had that happen in my entire life here. I've never experienced.
Well, no, I mean I've seen all those things. I haven't been honked at and flipped off by all those things or something.
That's usually you doing the honking and the flipping.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was accurate. It was on brand to LA traffic. Okay.
For Butte on the other side of it.
Fuck whatever. People get it. They get off the highway and. Fucking shut up, man. Let's just get through this goddamn scene. Dion officially loses her V, and then just Cher and Christian are hanging out at the Burbank Mall.
In the car? You just had to see later in the car
Cher and narrates it, okay? I'm just getting us through it. Anyway, they're at the Burbank Mall. That's where they're at. And then Ty's flirting with some boys, clearly in their 40s, and they decide to dangle her over because she's talking about, if I follow you, catch me, and she's trying to play damsel and shit, and Cher's just like Cher's kind of on to Ty now because of the whole Josh thing. She's like, this lady, I don't know. And then the guys do hold her over the edge, and she starts freaking out and panicking. They think it's hilarious. Everyone else is like, oh, I'm about to see someone drop 3 stories. This is murder. Christian goes over and saves her. And then
what are you doing here, cake boy? And then he just shoos them off.
Yeah, I don't think they yelled that at all, actually. I think that was just that one scene they say that.
That might have been the director's cut.
Yeah, she was like, say it more. Make him feel it. Make us feel uncomfortable. I want him to feel like Ellen Page will feel like in the future working with Brett Rat Turd.
Everybody's like, whoa, what are you talking about? That's too inside baseball. Everyone hates Brett Ratner.
Yeah. Well, people got it, okay?
No, they didn't, dude.
Yes, they did.
Just because you get it. Just because you get it.
That's the point of the joke. Why do I got to explain? Now I got to go through backstory of how Brett Rat Turd made Ellen Page feel shitty on the fucking set of X3.
His name is Brett Hackner. Okay.
Rat Turd, Hackner, whatever. It all flies off the fucking tongue, okay? Anyway, the next day, Ty is the most popular girl in school because of her near-death experience. Obviously, all these sheltered, well-to-do.
I disagree with this perspective that Dustin's given us.
What? They live a somewhat sheltered life where this is the most, like, oh, God, exhilarating. I mean, it could also just be high school. Nothing really happens.
It's high school. So here's the thing. This is what I took from the scene. I know Dustin was just like, we want more Rat Turd.
No, God, it was just supposed to be like a damn it. The wind, like people got her, they don't. You were like, back it up. Explain the Rat Turd comment. Call him Hackner. I'm like, no,
get it right. So, like, Cher's kind of like you said,
everything back into the Rat Pack. His production company was actually called Rat Pack, by the way.
What's happening?
I'm just, we're going inside baseball. May as well just fucking go deep.
Dude, what? Nobody wants the season. So
with a crooked penis.
Yikes. So, for what I took from the scene is like you said that Cher is kind of seen. So Cher talks her way out of everything. Like, that's her thing. She's got, golden tongue, right? Silver tongue, whatever. And Ty's thing is like she's doing the damsel thing, right? That's kind of how she gets her very woe is me on, what do I do? Wink, wink. And that's kind of gets her attention, right? She can try to control the field. So, because
she learns very quickly from this situation.
Oh, dude. Well, she has the best teacher in the game, right? Because, she's under fucking Cher's tutelage. She's coming up fast and ferocious, right?
Yeah.
And she's kind of playing, air quotes, the game. And when you said that, because like Cher's not worried at all that she's hanging over the side, right? You were like, we're gonna see someone die.
Yeah, no, Cher's just like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I know that sins.
Cher's just like, mm-hmm. That's your.
Well, I think Cher's just like, she'll fall, she won't,
No, I know she wouldn't.
She literally calls her a damsel, so.
Exactly. Cher's just kind of like, this is her working. She's doing her thing, and yeah, there's 40-year-old stuntmen are holding over the side.
Muscleman. Okay. Muscleman.
And then the next day, it's great because the story gets so blown out of proportion. Like everyone's talking rumors and stuff. They're like, "What is the one chick? It's the Asian girl. She always shows up to basically say a funny line or just give exposition." She's like, "I heard Ty got like shot at and some like gangbangers and some dude got his head blown off or something crazy."
No, that was Dion. Dion said that.
No, it's because Cher's walking towards it, and then that's before Dion. Dion's already sitting with her. And Cher's going to the table and she says something. Cher's like, what? No. Like, but Cher still stays in character. She's just kind of like over analyzing everything. So she's not really into it. And then they're like, scoot for Cher. And they sit there and Ty's just going over and over of how like crazy it was and her life flashed before her. And it was just like so crazy. And everyone's like, oh, we want to hear more. We want to hear more. So Cher tried to chime in with something and they're just kind of like, no, Cher.
Yeah, when she was held at gunpoint, like an actual near death experience of like, he pulls the trigger, I'm fucking dead in North Hollywood. So, and not splattered on the floor of the Burbank Mall.
Like in the movie, it's not Burbank because they could have made another Valley joke. I was waiting for a Valley joke to be made when Cher was like, "Well, I had a gun pulled on me." I was waiting for one guy to be like, "Stay out of the Valley." They just
we in the Valley, yeah,
because they make Valley jokes. Everyone's just like, "Oh, you so old, mate." You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, "Ugh, we have to go to the Valley. It's hot and far." So that's I was waiting for that, and then they didn't do it. I was like, "Oh, guys."
Well, global warming wasn't as hot in '94 when they filmed it.
We could have had one more Valley joke in there. It kind of broke my heart, but
yeah. So, but everyone like shuts down. Like one guy's just like, "Excuse me," and like shuts Cher down so that Ty can keep going with her story. So
Cher could be losing the crown at this point.
Yeah, and that's where Cher's just like, I need to find a better meet. Well, no, then she goes home and Ty's there, and Ty's like,
no, they're chilling. Are they chilling at the house? And then she has another.
No, she's chilling with Josh. Like she's over there with Josh, and Cher's
they're
like,
bonding though. That's the thing. Yeah, this is where
hacky sack, because it's the '90s.
Well, I have hacky sack. Hacky sack's fun.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like
it's a very '90s thing to do. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's very. Exactly. I'm not shitting on hacky sack. I'm saying that this scene and how it's addressed is a very like 90s stamp.
Shitting on hacky sack, guys. These frisbee golfers have something to say to you right now, Dustin.
Like frisbee golf.
Yo, they don't like that.
Yeah, well, EAD. But so then Ty and Cher, they sit down in front of a gas fireplace that Cher turns on, and in a very, I'm going to say this is probably the most high schoolish feeling scene. Ty opens her box of Elton shit, and she goes through it and burns a towel in the fireplace, which I thought was hilarious. And then goes to burn the Rolling with the Homies tape, and she's like, "No, maybe don't burn that."
So it's kind of it's a play to a touch of satire for me, where she's just overdoing it, because I feel like I was like, she's overdoing this because I felt like it was almost an obligation to Cher. I was like, hey, I'm over it. I know you were trying to do this thing for me, but I'm over it. Here's all the stuff that I was feeling at that time that you were trying to Elton. We shared this song, and this is the towel that I had when I got rocked in the head with that shoe. And then she's like, I want to burn it all and move past it. And then and then Cher's just kind of like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Let me get something out right now. She kind of just wants to like kind of have like a mini heart to heart with her.
Yeah. And that's where, this is where Ty asks Cher for help with Josh, and Cher's like,
I think I like Josh a lot.
And then this is where the bubblings of that Cher might actually like Josh too, because she's like, well, why would you want to do that? You know, what are you thinking? Like, no, like it's kind of like she doesn't know that she likes Josh, and like, you know, Josh, it's pretty obvious to the audience by now that Josh does like Cher, but like they do have this kind of very comfortable chemistry with each other, and it's something that Cher's character is unaware of at this point until she hears someone close in her inner circle go, I like him as well. And then Ty goes off on her and calls her, you know, a virgin and all this other shit. Just talks like some real cruel shit to her.
No, she doesn't, dude. She says one line. She says, "You licenseless virgin" or something like that. And she was like, "Oh, she's like,
oh yeah, no, we forgot. I forgot the part where oh no, I skipped it.
Her driver's test.
She does her driver's test, and she's all distracted, and she fucking hits a car, and she looks at the instructor, and she's like, "Should I leave a note?" He's like, "Pull over."
Yeah, see, those are good moments. That even though that Cher just kind of going through her mental angst and hurdles and stuff of like, where am I? I love Josh. I think I like Josh. I love him. But when
I think Josh had talked some shit towards her at this point too, of calling her like selfish and shit again. So
well, yeah, because they had basically their interactions are basically progressing, right? Yeah. He's almost putting her in check and kind of expecting more from her because she knows she's capable of it, and no one's ever done that because she's always run shit, right? Yeah. So everyone's ever looked up to her, and now that Ty's making this kind of play for power, unbeknownst to like her, she's just kind of being more popular. Cher's kind of taking a back seat and seeing things in a different light. Her perspectives change. She's not the queen bee anymore. So you're kind of like, where is Cher at now? She's taking her driving test and she's trying to figure all this stuff out. She's like fucking. Doesn't she like go through like a stop sign or something? He's like, you got to stop back there or something.
No, that's at the beginning, but no, she almost hits a bicycler.
Oh yeah,
she's driving down 2 lanes, and she's like literally trying to like, and she's going super slow too. You can see like there's like 6 cars like stacked behind her, just like looking at her like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. And he's just like has this look of terror and fear that he's driving with her.
Slowly shifts to anger.
Yeah, no, he's got some decent lines and stuff.
Her retorts are so good though because she does the shrug and she's like, "Should I stop and leave?" Like they're very Cher things, even though she is very disconnected right now. She's like, "I got a lot of stuff going on." It's very pouty. She tries to get pouty and bratty to get her way.
Yeah, she tries to use her usual charm. Yeah, she's like, "Can we start over? I was really distracted. I had a lot going on," and he's just like, "No, fuck no." Like, and it's kind of great because this is like another instance where she can't argue her way out of it, and so she's very defeated by that, and then she goes
powerless
now. And then
she's losing her status. So she's losing her emotions. She's not emotionally controlled.
Yeah,
she's not the queen bee, and she can't talk her way out of it. Exactly.
So
Cher's falling apart. It broke my heart.
She decides to take on the fucking what is it? Some beach thing. I don't know, some disaster that doesn't
basically a lot of people lost their homes and all their stuff, and so she's gonna, I forget what they call it, but it's the Tilly teacher. She's just like, hey, and Cher's like, I want to do it. I want to help the people.
Yeah,
that's gonna bother me.
The Pismo Beach or something.
It is Pismo Beach.
Yeah, Pismo.
Like when they said that, I started laughing. I was like, Pismo? Is this a joke, or am I just gonna laugh?
I mean, like, and that's the thing. I don't even think it's like, it's probably not even a major disaster or anything. And I think that's kind of the joke, but I just don't know anything else about it. But yeah, so she starts really leading that, and because it's Cher, everyone gets really into it. They want to help out because it's Cher. And she's donating her skis, and the dad's just like, "What the Cher? Get in here! What the fuck you doing?" And she's just like, "I'm donating my skis to the Pismo Beach." And she's like, "I don't think they need your skis." And she's like, "Daddy, some people lost their entire houses."
Yeah, what was it? The Pismo Beach anniversary or something. God, I don't know. You keep going. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's fine. And then he looks at Josh because Josh is kind of like smiling, like, "Oh, like, A, that's funny, and B, like, oh, she's doing something outside for herself." And he's like, "Is this your influence? Did you do this?" And Josh doesn't even say anything. He just kind of like goes back to work and starts like marking shit down. And then also she paces in front of the dad's door at some point. I think it's either during this or just before this or something, but he's working on this big lawsuit. There's a lot of people in and out of the house, and it's because it happens at like the party and stuff. But he gives her a task of like finding any phone calls that happened on this one day, and so that feeds into it later. But so then she is collecting stuff, and then Travis comes in with his
Cher's Pismo Beach disaster relief project.
Yeah, there you go. And then Travis comes in. He apologizes for ruining her shoes, and she's like, "Oh, that's so last season, like, or like."
It's a very Cher answer, yeah.
Yeah, like, don't even worry about it because like I wouldn't be caught dead wearing those anymore, type of thing. And he's like, well, I'm doing like a program with like steps and stuff. She's like 12. And he's just like, yeah, how'd you know? She's like, lucky guess or something. And basically, Travis has reformed because Ty called him a burnout and said not to sit by him. And,
yeah, because she got snarky Queen Bee on him.
Yeah. And so now he's giving up his bongs, one of which is made out of a honey bear honey container. So, which I was like, I don't know why you would donate that, but
did you know you could get pins and T-shirts that says Pismo Beach Disaster Relief Fund Captain?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I did appreciate that she wore Captain like as big as possible.
It was a huge giant.
Everywhere.
It reminded me of like the '80s Price is Right name tags. It was just massive.
Yeah, and she wore that everywhere. Like she was just like wanting people to know she was the captain of it. And then he invites her to a skate competition, an amateur skating league.
Yeah, he wants to create an amateur, like kind of like an after school like program for skating because his heart and love and joy is all.
No, he says it's a league. It's an amateur skate league that he's competing in for the first time. So I don't think he's running that. I think that's a bridge too far for No, he's just advertising for it because he's competing in it.
Oh, my bad. I gotcha.
And so then we cut to that, and Cher shows up, and there's Ty, and Ty apologizes, and they have, they rebond because the distance makes the heart grow fonder type of thing. And then we watch Travis, who's then played by any person that can actually skate and not him. He gets 2 9s, an 8, and a 7. I guess there was a French judge there.
So, I tried to look up. I wanted the skating was so brief in it. I wanted to see who was the skaters for it, but I couldn't find anything.
It was LA. They probably just said, "Hey, you 7 guys over there skating."
Well, no, like a lot of time they get pros because of like.
Yeah, but it was the 90s. That was before 90s. The skating was super.
No, dude, they were doing that from like Police Academy back in the day. That was like Tony Hawk and that whole like crew back then. Like anytime there's professional skating in movies, they usually get pro guys because of just like the insurance and stuff involved in it. They're gonna get some fucking wreck. Here, dude, bust this nollie into a 9. Oh, he's dead.
They don't do it. The biggest thing they do is they do a chain of jumpers. That was it. That was fucking it. And so now Cher and Ty are back. They're bonded. Ty and Travis are a very obvious pairing at this point. And then we move on to Cher and John. Oh, and I think we missed Cher's whole inner monologue or like thing where she goes out walking and realizes she has feelings for Josh at some point.
Yeah, dude, that's like the best part of the movie.
Yeah, but you kind of already covered it, so I forgot about it. So, but yeah, she has that realization, and so now she's very flirty with Josh, and they're flirting back and forth. And the other guy that's there working for the dad realizes that there's been a mistake, that someone's fucked up his stack of files to go through, and she's like, oops, I did that. And then he goes off on her, and I was like, ooh, bad idea going off on this overly protective father's daughter and calling her rude names. You are going to get fired, sir.
I kind of didn't really understand that. Like, I don't think it needed to go.
He had to be so extreme to just push those two together at that last, like.
Yeah, that part I thought was a little heavy-handed, just to kind of push her in that direction. It doesn't take a lot for Josh to kind of be, to kind of step in and be the kind of her savior in that. Like, so I didn't think he needed to keep going and going. Or I was just like, dude, number one, like...
He was like, I'm going to get SAG off this motherfucker, okay? I need the lines.
Fuck him. If this is the dad's case, though, like, what does it matter? Just because if you're responsible and the kids are doing something, and that's on you, dude. So, like, why are you going to yell at her? And she just put them in another pile. It's going to take you a day to sort the pile? I don't understand that.
17 files? Like, how bad are you at your job? But yeah, that's essentially everything you said is what Josh says. So he goes to check on Cher, and that's when they finally seal the deal. They do the schmoochy moochie, and she's like, and then you know what happens next. And then we cut to a wedding, a beautiful, large wedding, way out of the teacher's budget.
She's like, ew, I'm only 16, no way.
Yeah, she's like, this isn't Alabama or Arkansas or one of the two.
She says Kentucky. She's like, this is California, not Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, she lit somewhere up in the South. She was like, "Pow, pow, pow, we will be popular in this state. Maybe we will still. I don't know." And then we see all the couples at the table. Ty's coupled up with Travis. They're all talking about their weddings. Murray has some great lines. Oh, we are fucking planning our weddings, and then it's time for the bouquet. And Josh has a pretty decent line. This is where I think he felt like I wish he had more lines like this. He's like, "Listen, the guys and I, we got a pool going on. Whose girl's gonna get the bouquet? It's up to $200." She's like, "I fucking got this." He's like, "Yeah, fucking awesome, pound it." So, and then she beats up a bunch of women and gets the bouquet. End of movie. Cue the music. Done.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And you hated this part, Kevin? Did it come on too fast for you?
Yeah, the ending sucks. The movie just stops.
It is definitely the weakest part of the entire movie. I 100% agree, because you're just like, oh, they just finally kiss, and then it's just like, oh, now we're just doing this wedding and getting the fuck out of here. We're like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, like
what? And when did all these guys get chemistry? Like, as a guy that's been forced to hang out with my wife's
listen, everyone,
friends, significant others.
Everyone loves this part of the podcast where Dustin takes his real life and crowbars it into movies, where people are just like, bro, this isn't real life, and no one wants to hear about yours because it makes everyone sad.
Eat a dick. I'm gonna still finish my story, because maybe there's maybe your friends and fan base don't care, but maybe my friends and fan base do care. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Yeah, one guy's got to be like, you know what? I used to download these guys, but then one dude just got too real too often. And
well, then fuck that one guy. Why was he listening then? Anyway, as a guy, as the spouse who's hung out with my wife's friends, other significant others, you do not have this weird male bond chemistry when those three guys were all from completely different walks of life. They would not be talking, let alone have a betting pool going on. So I just want to say that.
Hey man, maybe
but that's something that came with age, not as a high school student. I was as a kid watching, so I was just like, that would happen. They would talk like this.
Yeah, because they know each other from school. They're not homies, and Josh gets along with everyone because he's that kind of guy.
He's going to talk about Travis and Murray were homies. Okay,
I didn't say they were homies, but they know each other from school. That's it.
I'm going to rewind the tape for you real quick, because you definitely said homies. I didn't pull that out of my ass.
I think homies was a reference to the Coolio song.
Man, stop cruising with him, okay? Stop cruising with him.
That's what I do in 1995.
Two hit songs off of movies.
120. I mean, it was either that or have a dangerous mind with him.
Yeah, I got it. I already set it up for that.
I hate this ending a lot.
Because it ruins your Cher for you, I know.
Yeah, it ruins the Cher. It just kind of takes Cher into this part where she just needs to be like, all right, we're out of time. It was just more like, okay, and we got to go, everyone. We'll see you next time. And I was like, what the fuck? There should be like at least 10 more minutes. Let's wrap this movie up, right? Let's get a little moment where the dad kind of says, thank you, Cher. I've seen you grow and you're responsible. Because the thing about Cher is she's trying to prove to everyone she's not who they think she is, right?
Yeah.
She's saying, I'm more than these things. I'm more than these clothes. I want to help. I thought they were going to go to the Pismo Beach thing for like 5 minutes and kind of have some moments there and like kind of grow. And then maybe we do like a beach blanket bingo bullshit or something, like a dance off or something. But then I was like, you brought back the teachers getting married. I forgot about them, but okay, they're back. And now we're going to the wedding. Is this a school night?
They do kind of wrap up like every storyline that they bring up, though, for the most part, you know?
I don't know. Did the dad break the case? That's all he's working on in the whole movie.
That's not. I mean, no, he only works on it for half of the movie, and I mean that's like that wasn't really super important. That was just
it's almost in every scene, and it's so Josh can bail her out. It's a catalyst.
It's literally only in like maybe half of the movie, and
Dustin,
and by that I'd say
bonding moment. It's the bonding moment between Cher and Dad, and it's another moment between Josh. It is a playground.
There's the original time where she's just walking back and forth outside his office, and he says, "Cher, get in here." And then when the kid when Christian picks her up, And then
you know how rich you got to be to pull a lemon out of your fucking window from your lemon tree in your yard to get a fresh lemon? I was like, what the fuck? You're rich. This is the richest shit this whole movie did.
That was, yeah, that really was.
I was like, what the? That was almost like a bullshit commercial. I was just like, dude.
There's like maybe 5 scenes total.
Fresh lemon right out of the window?
I'm counting. So.
Listen, dude, like, I get it, dude. Like, it's not his story, but
okay, so the father's big case didn't wrap, which is to assume he's amazing in his job and he sealed the deal. Enough to have.
I'm just saying, it was
at his house.
It was a set piece for a lot of pivotal moments. Is all I'm saying.
No,
2 big ones
there to keep Josh there. That's it.
What? Josh didn't have to do it. It was more of a thing to be like, hey, Josh, look how fucking different you are from Cher. You watch CNN. She watches Ren and Stimpy.
I know, but it explained why he was over there more than regular.
Well, he watched Ren and Stimpy, actually. No, because he didn't want to go back to his mom. They did that with a phone call throwaway line.
Okay, but still, it wasn't. It's not as pinnacle as you think. Okay,
listen.
It was just there for great scenes and to give the dad something to do.
I'm just saying. I'm just I'm rebuking your line of everything wrapped up nicely. I don't care
for the one thing with the dad. Okay, everything else, everything involving Cher that Cher started, all of her storylines wrapped up. Okay, she started the teacher thing, that wrapped up. She introduced Christian and his dilemma, that wrapped up. She introduced the whole Josh thing. You know,
did
everything
the Christian
she
thing
touched,
wrap up? He was just gay, and that was the end.
That was the wrap up.
The wrap up is like
learned about him from her. Okay, there's nothing else for him to wrap up. Okay, other than his dad.
They were the best shopping friends. She's like, he's my favorite to shop with.
That wrapped up. Done.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to go over it. You're just bullying me because you hate that Cher likes to be warm.
Like, okay, someone's fucking living vicariously too much to this movie right now. So, someone got a mad crush on Alicia Silverstone, like everyone else.
Actually, I don't. I really don't like blondes or white chicks, but I like her character.
Let's just throw this out here real quick. Blondes and white chicks, don't fucking come a knocking, okay?
I bet the movie white
exactly
chicks,
like Cher. Yeah, the movie one. Yeah, definitely don't come knocking if you're that movie.
And I met the movie Atomic Blonde. Both pieces of shit in my eyes.
Yeah, well, I mean, after this, she went on to do, I believe, Excess Baggage, where she played a Stockholm Syndrome survivor with one Benicio del Toro. Oh. And they were like, please just be Cher again. And she tried her best, but my God, the script was just hot fucking trash.
Like, here's the thing, man. That sounds like an aptly named movie. But the thing is Cher is a great character. And if it was me, I wouldn't have done all this extra bullshit. Like, if you want to have that movie end abruptly as it did in my eyes, I think it deserved another 5 minutes to kind of like, let's relax a second with these characters and their new lives and their new happy ways. And I'd be okay with it. You don't have to fucking make it romantic and shit. You can a touch. Maybe they can go on a drive, something, Pismo Beach, something. I don't give a fuck.
No, I'll one up you, Kevin. I'll one up you. You should have ended it the same way you began it. And also No. Where you do the quick montage.
Sure.
Like, just show life how they are now. Like, that's what you did in the beginning, and just have her narrate a little bit over it. Boom, done. You're done.
The
wedding feels so out of place. Like, you could have just done the montage. You've already done it. Like, that would have been your 3. You did one in the middle, and then you got this one, and then done. It would have been perfect, you know? Just showing how she's changed with this new montage. But,
that would have been perfect, man. Like, you just give me a montage. You can show me hanging in with the homies, like, so you can be like, now I believe they're friends. You can have all of that. Just give me a minute. But I was like, I literally felt like, I was like, we're out of time, everyone. We'll see you next time. Goodbye. And I was like, what the fuck? 2 characters get married and brings these other, just to have an excuse to have them all together again? Like, you could have done that anywhere. I've already believed that they're going to hang out. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, let's make this weird wedding joke. And it was just like, it's not funny. Like, I mean, the Kentucky line was funny, but like, that scene's not worth it just for that joke, you know? No matter how well she delivered.
No, hold on. The wedding is fine. It just needs more. You don't stop there. Like, the wedding joke's great. Them running around making the bet, whatever, fine. Bouquet joke, whatever. Everyone's got one. If there's a wedding, there's some sort of joke. But
But
you
then
need
it ends on tenderness.
Give me 3 minutes. I'll take your fucking montage and just have them holding hands at the beach or whatever. Cher found happiness, and then I'm good. But fuck, like I was waiting for the dude that hold her up at the liquor store to show up, and he's like, hey, "I'm here for the cake," and then Cher fucking throws a phone at his head. Like, what the fuck? Do something, anything. I'm begging you.
No.
But where's the sequel, man? They do all these other spin-offs and shit. I would have been like, no to a TV show. No to everything.
Well, that's the thing is, I'm pretty sure the TV show.
It killed it.
And she didn't want anything to do with it after that. Like, you know, it was because the best worst thing for her career because everyone was just like, just be Cher. And I'm sure when you're an actor and you're trying to like act and not just play the same character over and over, especially early on in your career, you're kind of like, fuck that, you know? And then of course Batman and Robin didn't fucking help either because everyone was like, oh, can she act? She's kind of hot trash in this shit. And it's like, well, have you heard anyone else talk in that movie?
Here's the thing.
Like George Clooney was there too. I have to because it's very pinnacle on her roadmap of her career, dude. Like that shit, like
dude, it's a scarlet letter on her. I get it, but this is what I would like. I'd be like, listen, no one's looking for you right now, Alicia. No one, and no one's gonna. Clueless.
She actually flew under the radar and did a lot of acting after this.
But no one gives a fuck, bro.
No,
that's what I'm saying. You could fuck up bad groceries all day, but no one gives a fuck. They're gonna be like, hey man, how'd your groceries get that back? I don't know. Like, you know, no one cares.
I mean, you might be excited, Kevin, because she is the voice of Queen Marinia in Masters of the Universe Revelation, a miniseries coming out this year.
I don't know. Is it going to look like that She-Ra shit on Netflix? I don't give a crap.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Probably.
It's going to look like that
also in the Babysitter Club this year.
New Thundercats shit. I don't like any of that. That weird, that like Adult Swim animation from 20 years ago. They're trying to make cool now. I don't like that stuff. What is this?
No, maybe.
This is what she needs to do. She needs to take a phone call from me and like, listen, we're going to do a sequel. This time, you're a mom and Ant-Man's dead. And you're going to have a daughter.
He's like, I'm fucking immortal. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he shows up looking the same. Everybody's like, creepy.
Jesus Christ.
Creepy.
Was he ever really a college student or was he just creepy?
This guy looks 45 every day of his life.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, listen, if I can look 45 every day of my life, that's pretty good because when you get to the later years, that's when it balances out. That's when the scale's in your favor. So,
hey, man. I guess.
Also, I want to point out that she was a teenage girl in all those Aerosmith movies or short videos.
That's what got her a job, bro. Was those videos? Like, stop reliving the shit no one cares about. Everyone just
bringing it up. Everyone needs to know because she bungee jumped from her fucking belly button ring and gave double birds, and I was like, you would die and fall to death. That's not how bungee.
In real life, with this stupid Aerosmith
to your foot. In real life, you can't just hook a thing to your belly button and be like,
fucking talking about it.
And also, why would she do that? Because you got to get pulled back up. It's not like she had somewhere to go after bungee jumping off of a bridge.
When you give double birds to anything, you don't care about nothing. That's what life tells you.
Would she fall to her death after that?
Double birds.
Listen, I give double birds all the time, and I care about
because you're dead inside. You don't care.
That's not here nor there, sir. Thank you very much.
Definition 5. He totally right. You do a sequel. She's a mom. She has her own kids. You just do the same movie again. That's all people want. That's all people want to see. You don't even have to have her. You just have to have her introduce the movie, and then the daughter can have some moments with mom, and it's just two Chers just battling, but everyone's loving it. But you got to have someone study this movie to a T, because this is it. It's a reboot, remake, whatever you want to do with it.
It's a reboot, remake where they just
they
continue it, but they just do it again. So.
And they say characters' names you kind of remember, but the character's completely different now. But
you remember Murray became a famous doctor, and then they just show Scrubs because they're just like, fuck it, who cares?
It just shows like a cutaway of Tony Hawk doing a 900. You're just like, what?
That's Travis, but okay.
That's what I'm saying. They just recast it and get it wrong.
Tony Hawk's like, I can't do a 900 anymore. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Okay, I was like, what?
I'll fucking die.
And Tony Hawk's like the dad, and everyone's just like, okay, I kind of get it. This feels a little different, but I'm rolling with it.
I mean, it's got to be better than those fucking horrible graphic novel they did.
But that's what I would do with it, man.
I mean, here's the biggest thing. I don't think you're going to get her back, even in that type of role. And I don't think the writer-director is going to do it either. Because she has to have some sort of control over this. Otherwise, they would have already shit out a sequel. Paramount has nothing.
No,
nothing. They wouldn't cash in on a fucking Clueless sequel or anything. But also, I think the TV show fucking killed every storyline that you could possibly come out of this.
Dude,
they'd have to disavow that.
Right now, only you remember that shit. You and some
shit. Bullshit. You're not a Clueless head, okay? If you were a Clue head, you would fucking remember the TV show, Kevin, because Amber had a much higher role in that, and they got the actual Amber. And I was like, oh my God. They got her and Stacey Dash, but that was it. Everyone else was like, nah, we're moving on with our careers.
I vaguely remember that now that you mentioned her being in it.
Yeah, that's because
I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was looking
at. On Saturday and Sunday.
I don't know, man. You're a hater right now. You're this Clueless elitist guy.
I
don't like it.
A soft reboot that they do, a Star Wars reboot, if you will, where they just do the same thing but tell you it's different. But how
about this? You just do an exact reboot remake, and if Cher's the mom, Cher died in birth, just like Cher's mom. Boom, there you go. Now Alicia could go like milk her feet or something with her 18-year-old kid or whatever she does. That's really weird.
I mean, that is what you would have to do, and you'd have to have Paul Rudd become the dad character, which he could probably do. It'd probably work just fine, actually.
You sound just like your mom. And then this Cher, he calls her Cher Part 2.
She just like share the sequel.
He calls her If I Could Turn Back Time. That's the first song that plays. And then Cher 2 comes down the stairs while Turn Back Time plays. And then she's like,
it'd be really great as if you just got the girl from the TV show who apparently went on to
do it. Stop bringing this fucking TV show.
You gotta bring her up into it, okay?
Dude, you're shitting on my joke. I just wanted fucking Neon Dion just ramps the Jeep into the living room. What the fuck? Because they can't drive. That's the joke.
Yeah, it's Dion's child. They named it Neon Dion. They were like, Deion Sanders, why don't we just fucking A, use a dated reference, and B, steal your fucking gimmick nickname?
No, dude. Deion Sanders is in the passenger seat. He's like, honey, I'm going to drive you home, okay? And then the daughter's like holding the wheel, and she's like, okay.
Oh, they have to get married. It has to be Murray, and that guy's still alive. He didn't die. So.
No, Murray, they divorced, and she married Neon Deion Sanders.
Why the fuck would she marry Neon Deion Sanders? Just so you could make that damn fucking shit joke? No, we're not shoehorning Neon Deion into this fucking sequel just so you could make that shit fuck joke. Just call her Neon Deion at that point.
That's because there's two Deons. He's like, I got confused, babe. I couldn't have my daughter as Deion, so I had to call her Neon Deion. She's like, I love it. It's like both our names together.
I'm not losing Donald. What's his fucking name? Who can actually act and is actually funny at times? To fucking have Deion Sanders do a shit ass cameo for 2 seconds.
Deion Sanders is the stepdad.
It doesn't even make any sense. A, because that character story we already established sucks, and is this there as an extra voice for Cher? And B, they don't even drive the Jeep. You would have to have Cher the sequel drive the Jeep.
It's just a callback, dude. And the internet would love it, except for you. You would just be pissing on it, going, should have did it the TV show.
Fanfic needs some work, okay? The Clue heads, we're not going to accept it, okay?
Stop changing your affiliation. And Clue was a game.
We're Clue heads.
That sounds like
that's Clue the game heads.
People are like, it's so hard to like stuff nowadays.
Anyway.
I don't know. Fun movie. Claire
is hot take. Is that your hot take, Neon Dion? Because that was pretty hot take on me.
My hot take was in the beginning.
Gross. What? What part? That it's a comedy more than a love story? Not really a hot take. I don't think anyone's gonna really like go to.
I was joking.
Oh.
Jesus Christ! Just
whatever. The hell? All right. Well. Thanks for listening. That was 2 hours of talking about Clueless. Fucking
50. You remember 95?
Wait, 25 years after it happened? Jesus Christ, I feel
they celebrated an anniversary.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, with that shitty graphic novel, so.
God damn it, dude. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a graphic novel by Boom Studios.
Was it by you?
It was horrible. I reviewed it. It was god awful. If you want any of the charm of Clueless, don't read it because there's none in there. So, anyway, it's been us versus movies. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter. You can email us individually. Myself.
Clueless had 3 seasons, dude.
Yeah, I know.
That's
but
not a failure.
Very long. Not very long.
That's not a failure.
That's why they wouldn't do a sequel. I'm trying to wrap it up, and you're just over here fucking like, the show had 3 fucking seasons. Yeah, it was also on fucking Channel 20. So that, like, even UPN? That fucking RoboCop. Yes, it was before UPN was UPN though. So even fucking RoboCop show had 3 fucking seasons. It was a syndication playground.
62 episodes, man.
62 episodes? My God, I dare you to watch more than 6.
It was on ABC 1996 to 1997 and is on UPN 1997 and 1999. That is not a failure. That is a success.
That's not really. That's 3 seasons on, and you did a network change. So come on.
It's not Cheers, but you know it did okay.
Definitely not Cheers. Well, then fuck you for shitting on me bringing up the TV show all the time. I mean, even if I didn't watch it, who the fuck watched it? Man, they really did cash in hard and quick. They were like, fucking strike while the iron's hot. Anyways, this has been Us versus Movies. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. Check out our YouTube channel that Kevin puts a lot of work into. And we appreciate you listening. Kevin, take us away.
The comic looks pretty bad, too.
Man, fuck you. That's what I brought up.